Hunting. I breathe it, I dream it, I live for it. It's not just a part of me, it's who I am. It's in my blood, and it lives in my soul. People ask me why I hunt, and I simply can't give you one answer. It's not about the kill, it's about the hunt itself, the preparation leading to the hunt, and the memories made. To be able to share something so rare and so incredible with someone else is an experience that won't compare to anything else. It's about population management and providing pure food for your friends and family. It's about training all year round, preparing your body and your mind for the physical endurance that your hunt requires. It's about scent control and understanding the animal's behaviors and understanding the land around you. I think about hunting all the time. It's not just a hobby, it's something I have to do. Hunting brings you to some of the most remote areas of the world, offering you the chance to experience incredible things. It's about sitting in the forest surrounded by towering trees and scurrying animals, and to be able to watch the sun rise and the sun set. And when it happens, when you finally have the opportunity of a lifetime to harvest that beautiful animal you've been waiting all year for has finally arrived, all the hard work and time has paid off. Heart pounding as fast as ever, mind focused more than ever. It all comes down to that one shot. That's all you have. Without a thought, your bow is drawn with ease. Even though you've been sitting there in the cold, motionless for hours, all the adrenaline pumping through your body allows you to forget about the blistering cold winds in your face, just as it's been in your nature your whole life. It's something that just comes to you. At that time, at that very moment, nothing else matters. It's just you and that animal. My name is Paige Gallia, and I bring to you Hunting Confessions. Join me on this adventure where I bring to you the most influential people in the hunting industry, discussing their strategies, their adventures, their hunting confessions. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to part 2 of Jim Shockey's Hunting Confessions. Jim has had a huge impact on the hunting industry and continues to be someone that represents hunters in a way that we can be proud of. Today, Jim will continue to reveal some of his hunting confessions. And did I mention we did this interview while Jim was on a hike?
I wrote my first hunting article, and it was because I was reading other hunting articles, but they weren't the same as when I was a young boy. You know, back then they always talked about the adventure and the wonders of the discovery in these new places. The articles 33 years ago had kind of turned into how to, product-oriented articles that I thought were not anywhere near as interesting as the old stories by Jack O'Connor, that I could write an article like I wanted to read. So I wrote my first hunting article. So that's how I started in the industry. And pretty quickly after that, got into guiding and outfitting, and television was just starting to come on screen then for outdoor shows. And because I was already a writer, and already, had a bit of a profile in our industry, the new television shows, the producers would call me up and ask them, where they could go on to video a bear hunt, for instance. So I knew all that at that point, and that's how I started. They'd ask if I'd guide it. I'd say, sure. Why not? And I had my first exposure to video cameras. I was already writing for many hunting magazines by that point. Probably wrote 1,000 hunting articles over the years. So,
wow,
I knew everybody. It's just a natural progression from appearing on other shows as a co-host and a guide to starting our own show. As I say, it's just storytelling through a different medium than writing hard copy for magazine.
Right.
And we've all seen what happened after that. The visual age hit, and everybody has the camera nowadays. But I just happen to be near the start of it.
Right. It's pretty amazing how one passion of yours can just explode into something huge and affect so many different people. It's pretty amazing.
Well, we're in a very fortunate position that way that we can get the message, the pro-hunting message, pro-conservation, pro-family. Very fortunate to be in that position. And, we take it as a great responsibility. Every hunter has to pass on to as many people as they can the truth about hunting. And, I just get to reach more people than the average person. But we do our best to still do the same thing that every hunter should be doing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. Working at Advanced Taxidermy, I've had the great pleasure in seeing some of the moose that have come in from Rogue River in the Yukon, and some of them are monsters. And having never hunted moose myself, but it's number one on my bucket list. It's something I've always dreamt of doing. I'm very interested in knowing how you get those massive animals from the bush to your kitchen.
Yeah, well, there's two words. Hard work. The fun part of moose hunting is the before and the long after. So, the hunting part is great. The long after part, when you're barbecuing a tenderloin back at home, that's the fun part too. But
Yeah.
everything in between is just hard work. But in the Yukon, we bring out every single ounce of meat. That's the law. People think, you're just hunting for trophies, quote unquote, but that's not true. Yes, you're hunting for trophy as a memory of a hunt, an accomplishment. That's what trophy by definition is, a memory.
Yeah.
And a tangible thing from that event that reminds you of that event. And so, yeah, we definitely are interested in the antlers. But every ounce of meat comes out. And either it goes with the hunter to feed their families and friends, or it goes into the native community to feed the elders up in the male band of the Yukon. So every ounce. Now, we bring the neck meat, the rib meat. Heck, we bring out the tongue, the heart, the liver,
everything.
Kidneys. Yeah, everything. Even the fat around the stomach. There's a webbed fat. We bring all that out, and it's none of it's wasted. At least in terms of a human eating it.
Right. Yeah.
The wolves and the wolverines and the whiskey jacks and ravens up in the Yukon, they're not too happy with us because they would rather you leave way more of the moose for them.
Yeah, no kidding.
But from a human perspective, people, I think, need to understand that hunters don't cut the heads off animals and leave the body to rot. That's been the perception in the public press, but true hunters always
use everything.
We bring all the meat in, we abide by the wildlife laws, and it's regulated heavily. So, controlled and regulated. So
right.
That needs to be changed, that perception over time, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. Well, talking about how every part of the moose is used, what would you say is your favorite cut of a moose?
My favorite cut of a moose?
Yeah.
The first thing I eat is moose liver.
Oh, really?
Always. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of, it's funny, I bring my clients up, if I'm with a friend who hunts, they think we're going to cook up the tenderloins, but not a chance. I eat first the liver, then it's all the heart, kidneys, any of those good cuts, tongue, and then once that's all eaten up, I go for the rib. I love ribs, barbecued ribs from a moose. I don't think there's any better ribs in this world, and that is the final treat. By that time, usually we're ready to fly out. So, the rest of the meat, all the normal cuts like the backstrap, tenderloins that most hunters would eat first, those all go out. I eat all that other stuff first.
Interesting. I definitely am going to have to try the liver. Sounds very good. That'll be the first thing I eat when I get my moose finally.
It's good. You'll fry up some onions, caramelize them, and then batter the liver lightly in just a I use pancake batter, but flour works, and then fry it. So good, so tender. I love it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't eat it. You know, the liver, they don't like it, but I love it.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be a tough one for you because you've had so many hunts, but what would you say is your most memorable hunt?
Oh, there's several right at the top of the list. Right now, like I'm standing with my father, who's passed away a few years ago now. I can recall as if it was right now, live. You know, and those are by far the most memorable hunts. It's nothing to do with the size of the animal.
No, I agree. It's the size of the memory.
Yep. Good way to put it. I may steal that page. That's a good way.
Well, when people call in for getting a fish or whatever it may be, we always say, you know, it's not the size of the animal or the size of the fish, it's the size of the memory. That's all that matters.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, it does, that's my most memorable hunts, but it doesn't mean that has to be everybody else's.
Right.
You know, there may be somebody that's really thrilled because, you know, they spent their whole life trying to get a big northern pike.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's, you know, that's the size of their memory.
Yes.
And then, you know, so it's everybody to each his own. That's the wonderful thing about hunters, that we actually practice and live tolerance. It's what we're about.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I know you've traveled all around the world. What would you say is the most exotic thing that you've hunted? I've seen some pretty crazy stuff come in to the shop.
I like to hunt things that are just different because I'm also a collector. You've got the museum.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was on the island of Zanzibar for to hunt an Ader's diker, which is only found there, but also only available to hunt there, was an animal called a black and rufous elephant shrew.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the real reason I went to Zanzibar to hunt that black and rufous elephant shrew, which is the largest shrew in the world. So actually, your dad and James mounted it for me, and it's in the museum now.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything left on your list that you'd like to harvest still?
You know, I mean, a lot of times I go by places, and I'd like to hunt in a place
Right.
that I haven't hunted before, even if it's, you know, for an animal that I've hunted before. So, you know, there's a few places, not a lot of. I'd love to go down to, let's see, Vietnam. You know, I understand there's hunting for mouse deer. You know, I haven't hunted in Guam. There's sambar deer, baby bearded pig. I'd like to hunt Madagascar. Every year they have a season on a little type of a hedgehog. There's two species of them. That one's red and one's yellow. They're just hedgehogs with the whole country. And, you know, the villagers eat them. So, you know, that's a hunt I'd absolutely love to do.
So interesting. You must learn so much about culture, and I mean, you're not just going there to hunt. You're learning so much. I think that's so amazing.
Well, you know, every hunter, every explorer through history has been a hunter, a collector, a naturalist.
Right.
And, you know, hunters are explorers, explorers are hunters. So all of us are interested in every aspect of a hunt, which, if you remember way back to your first question, you know, what hunting means to me, culture is a big part of hunting. And whether it's, you know, a culture in Louisiana where they hunt for alligator snapping turtles, or culture as in, you know, Ethiopia with the Camera and the Kara tribes, it's still culture. So Yeah, every hunter is interested in it. It's just like they are interested in natural history, bones, fossils, birds. And that's what we are as hunters. We're naturalists.
Yeah, for sure. Like we had said before, it's not just about, the harvest itself. It's so many other aspects involved.
Absolutely. And that's what we have to work as hunters to get the rest of the world to understand. It's not about the tip. Never was, never will be.
And I know you don't like the term trophy hunting. You prefer to say selective hunting, which I think is a great term. How can you explain the importance of selective hunting? Because I know a lot of people don't really understand it, but it is so important.
Yeah, I mean, number one, hunter, tend to take the oldest and, beyond breeding age animals. So biologically, for the survival of the species of that particular big game animal, you haven't hurt them in any way. It's been proven over and over again. So, that's the strictest, I guess, use of the word trophy hunting. The guys that go to Africa, they're not looking for a young, Cape buffalo. They're looking for the oldest Dugga boy that's been kicked out of the herd to live by itself, maybe with a couple of old buddies. They don't breed anymore. All they do is take space and habitat, for the younger buffalo could live on. So, when you go to Africa, that's in a sense trophy hunting, because you don't need to go over there to get the meat. Now, the meat gets used by the villagers. The villagers also get hired to help with the hunt as trackers, camp help, the cooks, the scouts, the game scouts, the drivers, the mechanics. The villagers get employed by that trophy hunter. Then, they get tips from that trophy hunter after the hunt, and they get all the meat from the animals that the trophy hunter takes. So what a perfect world.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a, on top of that, he's not a trophy hunter because he's not just hunting for the skull and cut it off the animal. He's hunting to be selective on the animal he takes. It's very important. The hunters that travel around the world to take an old, beyond breeding age animal. They try and do that all the time. Where a poacher will set a snare or a pit trap, they don't care what they catch. Young is fine. It's easier to deal with. A cow that's pregnant, that's fine too. A cow with a calf, if the calf goes and dies, that's fine. So that's the alternative, because the people want the meat, so they're going to get the meat. There's, a billion people living in Africa right now, and all of them want food. And you can't stop them from taking a Cape buffalo or a baby eland or, mother eland. You can't. So what you can do is bring them money so that they can, build hospitals and schools and roads, and they still get the meat that they needed. So if you make those animals worth more to those villagers as a huntable animal, they won't kill that animal by poaching it. They'll keep it alive and make more of them. That becomes their herd. And what they will kill is their goats and pigs and chickens and sheep.
Right.
That's fine. There's 25 billion chickens in this world. We can stand to lose a few of those chickens.
Yeah.
7 million sheep, 7 million goats in this world, or 7 billion. We can stand to lose a few of those. Better that than wiping out an entire herd of elephants for their tusks and cutting just the tusks out. The meat get wasted, and they were killed by poisoning, which poisons everything.
Yeah.
So it's trophy hunting is, or you want to call it selective hunting, whichever you want to call it, is vitally important to the survival of wildlife in many parts of the world.
It is. It's amazing how many things it involves and how many people it helps. And I think a lot of people look at the word or term trophy hunting and automatically assume one thing, but there's so much more behind it that is so important. And like you said, being hunters, that's our job, is to educate people. So it's really important to explain that to people.
Yep. Well, we're the stewards of that wildlife. You know, that wild animals can't talk.
Right.
If they could, they would tell you that they want more land to live on, which has to be paid for, and you have to buy it back from the farmers and ranchers that have cows and pigs and chickens and goats. You know, that wild animals, they don't have, you know, they can't sell themselves into the market, you know, into New York City like a cow can. So we, as hunters, have to be their voice of wildlife. And, you know, the realistic voice. It'd be nice if we could turn the world into a giant park and photo safaris would pay for everything. But, you know, there's already as many parks as the photo safaris can afford to sustain. So what about the rest of the world? You know, 18% of Africa is in parks. What about the rest? That needs to be somehow paid. You know, that land has to be paid for. The wildlife has to be able to live there, and the people have to get rid of the goats and sheep and pigs and cows. So, you know, we have to be spokespersons for the wild animals of this world.
Yeah, for sure. And it's amazing that, you know, we have people in the industry like yourself that puts out this message, and it's so important, and we're very lucky to have spokespeople like yourself to get that message out there.
Well, thank you, Paige. Hopefully, you younger generation will take that message and expand on it, make it better, and say it better, and teach more people. You know, we can only reach so many, but your generation, you can reach everybody.
Yeah, well, it's definitely important to, you know, like we talked about before, sticking together, being united, and just doing whatever we can to educate.
Yep, and, every hunter's responsibility.
Yes, for sure. And I know you're in the middle of hiking. I don't know how you're talking and hiking. I'd be completely out of breath. But I have one last question for you. I must say that I had no idea you participated in both the 1978 and 1982 Water Polo World Championships. I was very shocked by that. What is one other thing about yourself that a lot of your fans might not know?
Well, it was the World Aquatic Championship, so it was bigger than just the World Water Polo Championship. We boycotted the 80 Olympics, so I didn't go. But I would say a lot of people don't realize that if you open up 1984 September Vogue magazine, you'll see a full-page ad where I'm modeling a white leather jacket. So I did a little bit of modeling way back when to pay the bills. So that was, a lot of people don't realize that.
That is too funny. You just never know what is going to happen in your life and what one thing's going to lead to.
Yep. Well, that's it. You know, we get one life to live. So, you know, live it to its fullest.
Exactly.
That's my advice.
It's very true. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for your time. I really appreciate it. You've really enlightened me on a lot of different things, and I can't wait to put this together so we can really start getting the word out there.
That's my pleasure, Paige. I'm glad to see the younger generation is taking the responsibility and the load off our shoulders and carrying it beyond into the next generation. Gives me hope. Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Hunting Confessions. Tune in next week for episode 3 of Hunting Confessions by Paige Gallia.